You're listening to the Mellovanium Always. Emphasis on listening because I got a new microphone and I just want to practice using it. I feel like I've almost never listened back to audio before and said, yeah, that sounds good. Keep it that way. That level is fine. I'm always pretty much begging Snowball for more volume, which is not to speak ill of the dead because Snowball may have died during the Of the Devil stream prep, which is kind of unhinged timing because my mom literally shipped me the Blue Yeti right around that same time. We could have lost and gained a microphone in the same day if things just worked out a little bit differently. So double, triple emphasis on listening because there's not going to be any B-roll in this video. It's like the Danganronpa videos. I just want to talk. I just want to make something low effort for them always and get it out there. I'm working really hard on a Kaito video for the main channel for his birthday tomorrow. But I really I've been so busy. I want to use my microphone. So I'm kind of chopping up and throwing out two ideas that could have been their own kind of maybe videos, but nope, not anymore. Well, okay. One topic, the fact that I've been playing Persona 3, that could still get a Pulse video sometime. We'll see about that. I just think for such an important video, like getting a Pulse on Persona 3, getting a Pulse on the Persona series, I kind of need to chew on it a bit more. I need to see a few more layers of the game. But for the other one, it's whatever. And I'm just going to get into that one first. So because I have such mixed feelings on it, I feel like Miku Project Diva Megamix, the Switch game, has become probably my most talked about Project Diva game, simply because it on one hand, it's genuinely this like arcade style Project Diva game that has an incredibly large amount of music, and it's on my most convenient console by far, being on the Switch, but I just don't really like the art style that much. They changed from the nice robotic look of the PlayStation games and gave it this very cel-shaded look that I don't think is quite as appealing. So it's like I have all these songs at the tip of my fingers, and there's so many of them to play so conveniently all the time. But I just don't like it as much as the other games. And yet, I cannot deny how many songs it has introduced me to. And recently, it has introduced me to even more because there's DLC. So I was kind of stressy about the DLC because I purchased a Japanese physical copy, so I need Japanese DLC. And the way that Switch DLC used to work would mean that I would have to manually register and deregister. So few people have experienced this. Register and deregister my primary Switch console by going to the eShop and doing a multi-step process every time I want to shift the right to play the DLC on my main American Switch account, which has cloud saves, which my Japanese Nintendo Store account does not have. If I wanted to use my American account to play my Japanese physical Miku game, and I wanted cloud saves between my Switch 1, which I never played in handheld, and my Switch Lite, which was kind of my more preferred way to play Project Diva, I literally have to do this multi-step thing that I did for like the Castlevania Dominus collection for an age, basically. So annoying. Definitely still annoying, the new system, but it is much better. It is much easier now, as long as you have the foresight to be connected to the internet and turn your Switch Lite on. It's a small thing, but it is so annoying every time. Like the Switch 2, for some reason, it understands. Like, oh, it's vaguely in sleep mode, sort of in the dock. That's fine. It's connected to the internet. We can swap games off of it. But the Switch Lite, no. This thing, it's not even a battery life complaint. Anytime I leave this thing be for more than 2 minutes, I feel like it dies because I leave it in sleep mode and it just doesn't survive in sleep mode. It has to be plugged in. If I leave it in sleep mode for a day, it's going to be dead the next day. I am always finding this console dead, and I'm like, shit, I forgot. Anyhow, yeah, it's a bit of a drag, but it's not that bad of a drag. And anyhow, now that I have the Switch 2, and this is helping to carry some of the handheld burden, and now things are easier, relatively, to do DLC between different accounts, and I can have my Japanese DLC and play it on my American Switch account, which has Nintendo Online, and can do cloud saves. I passed the 444 mark and felt the shadow cross my heart. I'm getting the unlucky 444 beaten into me by Asian culture, or maybe Japanese culture. I don't know how widespread it is. Anyhow, I finally took the dive and started to buy the expensive, vast ocean of Project Diva DLC. And you might say, why would you spend so much money on this game if you have mixed feelings about it? And to that I say, the average Project Diva game makes me happy with like 32 songs. The base game of Megamix had like a little under 100 songs, I think. The like 18 packs of DLC, which I'm just going to be referring to by their super packs, the packs that have like 6 per pack, 1, 2, 3, those 3 packs have I think another 100 songs, and they have 2 of my ultimate GOAT bangers, Kokoro and Meltdown. So I bought, once they finally went on sale, I bought the packs that had Kokoro and Meltdown and had this huge expansion of the amount of songs I could play, and I could enjoy them on the Switch 2 handheld screen, which was very, very nice. And things really shot up to the sky for Megamix. There's so many games on Megamix already. Again, about 3 times the size of your average game. It just got even bigger. This is now like 7 Miku games all in one, basically, for me. This monster of a game. I still haven't processed most of the songs. I had all these new ones added. I definitely have not processed all of those, but things had vaguely settled into my Pack 1 and Pack 2 era with some bangers like Kokoro, Meltdown. I got into Hoshikuzu Utopia from the Luca Bide video on there, and I got to play that, which was nice. And also the song where Miku dances around with hands on her eyes, and it's like about evil children, and she's in front of the 1,000 Tories from Kyoto in those boxes. I got to play those. Well, basically, every time I found a song that I liked on a different Project Diva game, it would probably be in Megamix DLC, so I could add it to my disgustingly big menagerie of songs and Switch too. But here's where we get to today's topic. I have been buying these on sale. All in all, I spent maybe 1.5 of one of these packs at their base price on all 3 of them. I got a really good deal. I saved probably 50% or more on getting them all, which is maybe a moot point when that probably cost me 4,500 yen in the end, which is its own video game. But hey, I've got like 10 or 11 friggin' I think I'm inflating the numbers at this point. No, if I have 180, 190 songs, that's only 6 Project Diva games. I fucked up the numbers at some point, but I still have 6 Project Diva games inside this game. And I have not had much time to chew on the new pack, for reasons being Liz was with me for 2 weeks, and I'm only now settling back into my normal routine, I guess. But I bought pack 3 because it was on sale when Liz was here, and I played around, and you want to know what came out? What came out was Len. So I actually scripted this part for the aborted Len video. I am a big Kagamine Rin fan, yet I have been fairly slow on the uptake for her mirror self of ambiguous connection, Kagamine Len. For a while, my favorite song by Len has been Jigsaw Puzzle by Mafu Mafu. Jigsaw Puzzle is an absolutely fire song with an excellent music video on Megamix. Yet that video does not feature Len, and to be honest, I didn't even know that he was the one being used because of the way that Mafu Mafu tuned him until I looked it up. I was like, who is this actually? Who actually am I listening to? I couldn't recognize him. Yeah, that gave nothing to Len stocks. However, Megamix is a treasure chest of music, and it was not done donating to Len once I put more money into it to get more treasure chests. 3 times. And that is the end of the script. But yeah, it is really funny that I bring up Jigsaw Puzzle and like not being so hard on Megamix, because tomorrow, my Kaito video, I mentioned Oedo Julia Night, which was the other song. The 2 songs that were like no 3D dancing, just music video that introduced me to Megamix Night 1 were Oedo Julia Night with Kaito and Miku, and Jigsaw Puzzle with Mafu Mafu's self-insert, who was actually Len the whole time. Anyhow, yeah, this game has given a lot to a lot of characters for me, but Len did benefit pretty big from Jigsaw Puzzle, but not as big as he had benefited here. There are 2 songs that I have been addicted to that might be my number 1 Len song and my number 1 or 2, like one of my very, very favorite new Kagamine songs, and they are so much fun. So one of them is Karakasa-san no Tori, or Toru, or something like that. The Coming of Mr. Karakasa, which I think the Karakasa is a yokai umbrella. I think that's the umbrella with the tongue that sticks out of it and the eye. This is a Len who is walking through a town. Everything is very old-fashioned Japan. There are yokai everywhere, and he has this cool like sense in the music video. He has this cool like sense projecting where I don't know if he's a normal person that can communicate with yokai or if he is a yokai. I don't know the lore of this song. I've just been playing it every night after Liz goes to bed. It's this beautiful, beautiful yokai song, which is like cool and has some funny bits like when the long neck yokai slips up next to him and the music is like a little bit like epic guitar for that moment. It creates this really, really goofy sense of like, oh yeah, epic snake neck lady. And I always laugh at that. But it is the point is not the epic yokai. That's fine. That's great. Oh my god, this song is so cool. The big, big, big thing that might make this my favorite new Len song is during the chorus, there is a harmony. There is a second layer of Len vocals that have a really ethereal sound behind them. And layered on top of each other, it's just this really magical wall of sound. Like, whoa! Just hearing the main melody Len and like the backup Len at the same time, tuned to be so like broad and fat and like ethereal. Just the sound of that second voice and what it's doing to provide a harmony is so magical. That was the big thing that hooked me on the song and made me love it. But then I would genuinely say, some of the choreography is starting to add up too. I mean, the whole thing is musically cool, but I only came to notice that through like, there are these bits in the verse, I guess, where at the end of a phrase, it might go like do, and then that kind of stops the momentum. And it's really easy to notice this in the rhythm map because you're doing like double hold or you're doing double notes in the hard version, like XA, XA, XB or something like that. I don't remember. So it's this very obvious, like, it reminds me of hopscotch. I guess there's a reason for that. Like hop, hop, land. And in the choreography, he like pretends to have slipped up his sandal or something, his traditional Japanese geta. He like trips on his geta or like he adjusts his geta. He like jumps in place like hop, hop, and then he hits this really cool pose and the camera zooms in on him with these limp wrists as if he was like a hopping zombie yokai kind of guy. It's like ba ba ba, and it's so cool. His expression is so cool. And yeah, I think that song is really cool. I would never have found it if it weren't for the DLC. I'm assuming these songs are in DLC 3 because I didn't notice them until I bought DLC 3, but hearing that song and then seeing some other Len songs I wanted to listen to, like Sa Dochi, which is apparently a mystery spooky song by the same person who made the mystery spooky songs we used in the Of the Devil stream. That's fun, but seeing that song and some other songs, they're all Len. I was like, I've never been so excited to listen to Len music before. This is crazy. DLC Wave 3 has been the Len moment, and this is only half the story. I'm starting to wonder if the hopping zombie is actually a Chinese thing and not a Japanese yokai. I just heard something about that is popping up to me. Maybe it's not a yokai. I just see it mixed in with like cool Asian spirit creatures that I'm not familiar with. I don't know. Anyhow, that's a great song, but like the real one that's just like straight to my heart is Tsuki Made Muko Toraberu, traveling all the way to the moon, traveling even towards the moon. I don't know the official translation. It's a Kagamine song with Rin and Len, and it's really cool. It goes like da 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 da, and it's so fun. And then Len starts rapping in English and he says, I want to go to various places with you. It is so ethereal. And Rin, I think, does all the Japanese and all the verses. And then the chorus is when Len comes in and all of his lines are English. And they're a little bit silly. I want to go to various places with you. Yeah. It's very silly, but it's so, again, just like ethereal and, it feels like you're flying away. I simply think this is a really pretty song. It has all of these nice, like, synthy feels, and the way that something about the melody feels like it's like lifting off and transcendent and stuff like that. And then there are moments where it slows down and gets quieter, and I remember like there's like almost bongo sounding percussion. Like even the percussion is kind of cool. There's just certain things where it's like, yo, I forgot that layer was even in here. It all comes together to make a really special mood. But the reason I think I latched onto it so hard is, again, the music video on Project Diva is really cool. They use this effect where mostly Rin, I guess, is walking around like in a staggered way. Like she'll walk a little bit and not quite slow motion, but like 5 frames, and all of a sudden like gets sped up really fast and moves around the room like that. And it just has a really interesting like pacing, rhythm, I don't know, like a visual rhythm kind of deal. It just feels a little bit offbeat. And I guess because they're on a space station, pairing that with like the kind of just like them staring at you and idle animating or whatever, that sounds creepy actually. It just feels very transcendent. And when it all comes together in the end, where there's lots of smash cuts to lots of different parts of the music video, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm really emotionally invested. Like this has a really specific, cool atmosphere. And I've just been addicted. I've been playing it like every day. It's definitely one of my very favorite Kagamine songs. And that has driven Len's stock value up dramatically. Congratulations, Len. This random mix of songs that I have not even mostly panned through has done fantastic, fantastic things for your reputation in my heart. So I say it a lot. I was a huge RPG kid. Pokemon, Dragon Quest IX, Fire Emblem Awakening, those were like the be-all end-all of video games as a kid. And I am not willing to say that the era has ended, but you know, when I got back into gaming big time, I always say this, I got into 2D action games. Those have been my bread and butter for a long time, and they still are. Like, those are my new, like, standard for, like, game. Like, I love 2D action games. Those are my favorite things. Metroidvanias, Kirby, Mega Man now, retro stuff, Castlevania. That is my shit. However, I have played so much, so many different games for so many years now, and I'm just depressed enough that I have been getting some burnout. It's been said many times. And, well, okay, I have been getting some burnout. That is a fact. I'm not sure whether to play more or play less sometimes. Shovel Knight video coming out this week. That's been great. One thing you cannot deny is that I have come out of this, like, air quote, action game era with more new sensibilities. Not the ones you would expect. I love music. Okay, I knew that. I love game music. I love atmosphere. I love good characters and good stories and good vibes. So much. Good writing. I like that. I like jokes. I like good dialogue. I have come to like all of these things you wouldn't associate with action games. And as now I get burned out, it's been easier to fall back on other things, like, you know, visual novels, rhythm games. Those have been the big two. But a very funny development is that now I'm going back to RPGs. But as a kid, it was the action, it was the gameplay, it was the grinding that I loved. I loved team planning. I loved crunchy numbers. I loved strategies. Reclassing is like one of my favorite concepts of all time. That is how it used to be. But I don't know. I have come back to RPGs for kind of the opposite thing now. I didn't care that much about music, characters, vibes, atmosphere back then. I kind of did, but not that much. Now I would honestly say I have formed a habit of picking up RPGs and legitimately becoming invested in them to the point where I would say I am a Final Fantasy VII fan. I've only played like 2 hours, but I loved what I played so much and I was so emotionally connected that I feel invested even though I've played so little. I just didn't keep it up because, well, the Japanese was hard. Well, there's a lot of pressure on 7, but continuing on 9. Oh my god, I am a huge Final Fantasy 9 fan. Do I know what happens 7 hours into Final Fantasy 9? No, I've only played like 5 or 6 hours, but I was so immersed, I was so invested, I was so connected that I am totally a fan. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just a Final Fantasy thing and I'm just getting my groove, but the point I'm getting around here is the gameplay hasn't been doing it for me. The gameplay and the super long sessions, which is funny because I picked up 100 Line on a whim after saying bye to Liz at the airport. She told me to play a specific route that I had started, and I remember on the train I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna play this much, and then one thing clicked into place and I pretty much blacked out, and not literally, but I pretty much locked in and played like 6 hours that night. It's a good route. It's a good pair of routes I'm playing. Obviously, yes, the time investment, it's not really that big of a problem right now. I've already made 100 Line, one of my most played games of all time. I think it's like 170 hours. That is an easy top 10 at that point. So the hours aren't really the problem. I just think I haven't been that into the gameplay for a while. Enter Persona. This is a hot take. I'm getting this take ready. I think Persona is really fun. But Persona isn't a completely out of the blue thing either. Back when I was trying to find my way around other RPGs, not just my big ones, my friend and I picked up the Etrian Odyssey series, which was like well, it used to be back on the DS, a very popular dungeon crawling, kind of tabletop pen and paper RPG inspired game. I was like pretty into those. Those are always like the ones that kind of clicked and got me out of my comfort zone. Never hugely passionate. Except for Persona Etrian Odyssey. I gave an honest try to 2 or 3 different Etrian Odysseys, a good, honest college try, but nothing demanded that I play it from cover to cover like Persona Q. I've been talking about it so much lately. It's aged like a fine wine. I knew that I loved that game. I knew that I loved it for so many reasons. To be fair, definitely music, atmosphere, characters there, but I was a gameplay person, and the gameplay really, really had me. And I said, you know what? I like this so much, like I would love to do a proper Persona 3 thing someday. I didn't know that I was only a couple years away from losing interest in RPGs, but I had that awesome memory, I set it aside, and then 11 years later, I started to think, maybe it's time. To be fair, I have done time as a bit of a Persona hater because I am so sick of the Persona 5 era. I'm sick of the Persona 5 Three Houses era because it was a time where all these people with no social tact, no internet know-how, folks who just wandered online would pick up baby's first fandom off of Three Houses on their Switch or Persona 5 off of some friend of theirs, and like, oh, I'm the most sophisticated person ever. I know so much about video games because I played fucking Three Houses, or oh, I know so much about psychology because I played Persona 5. Like, people were just so pretentious, so loud, so annoying, and I was so not into those games at the time. But of course, I did have friends like good old Robbie, a classic friend of the channel, who kept Persona 5 very warm for me. Then when I met Liz, Liz was in a bit of a P5 era. I've never been that interested in P5. I've always been interested in P3 and P4, largely because of PQ. But yeah, I've never been that interested in P5 by the aesthetic or the characters. Well, there's some characters I like, but never been that interested. Wasn't playing RPGs. Honestly, was frustrated with the fact that I wasn't an RPG person anymore. So I was pretty distant, and I was even a little turning my nose up at Persona fans back then. Like, oh, you think you're so sophisticated because you're playing Persona and I'm playing Donkey Kong. Well, fuck you, Buster. Like that kind of thing. Anyhow, cakes on my face because the time has come so randomly. I got my PSP very randomly, my very blue PSP, and I saw a very blue game. And I had talks, like I had Persona talks with my friend Hunter, the Pikmin guy. He's a huge Persona guy, and he was definitely helping to warm me up towards playing them as I accepted, like, okay, I might be getting a bit of a second wind with RPGs here. He, talked to me about his thoughts on the 3 modern games at least, and I was like, I love playing my PS Vita. Maybe it's time to play Persona 4 Golden. Or people would be like, what? You have a PS Vita, but you don't have Golden? I'm like, no, I'm waiting. I don't want to force it. I do not want to force it because I'm teetering between a lover and a hater of RPGs, and I don't want to fuck that up, but I deep down wanted 3 to be my first one. I deep down really did, because it's not a big difference, but in Persona Q, you can choose to play the 3 route or the 4 route, and it's just different enough that I felt far more invested in 3 than I did 4. I like a few characters from 4, or the simplified versions of them, the chibi versions of them. In Q, I certainly like a few characters, but 3 felt like my friends. Like, it's only like a free sample size, but they were my buddies. So I always wanted to get back and do that. Yeah, 11 years later. never let your dreams die. 11 years. Granblue? Why wasn't this Dragalia? What is this, Granblue console game? Noreen just messaged me. Hi, Noreen. Why couldn't this be Dragalia? Why couldn't... It's not a gacha. Okay, well, Granblue's been doing great for a while. They can get whatever they want. Anyhow, yeah, I've been playing Persona 3, and I've had a really fun couple of weeks. Yeah, so I clicked with the gameplay and everything of 3 right away. It was almost intoxicatingly immersive. I remember feeling a little bit ick in my stomach whenever the it's time for school, and you're gonna hang out with Junpei. Whenever that song would come on, it was like a crazy level of soothing, this crazy level of grounding. Like I really just sank into the atmosphere of this damn school life, and it almost felt weird. It was almost like I don't know, it almost like I was a kid or a high schooler again, and I'm like, I didn't sign up for that. But I remember my first night, because this is playing in Japanese, and it's a Japanese school, and it reminds me of work because that's my day-to-day life is I work in a Japanese school, not a high school. But all these words are words that I use day to day, and they have like sometimes a negative connotation. It's work. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the teacher here. I'm supposed to be coming to the class to teach you. I'm not supposed to be in class. Like it was almost weird being so immersed in something so like wrong. It was like an inversion of my actual life. But I started to get sentimental and nostalgic for my high school and my buds and my personal hell and all that stuff. Anyhow, incredibly effective loop. I just love the life sim stuff, and I've barely started it, but my god, it's this life sim loop, and you get to do like these simple tasks, and events play out, and then you do the dungeon crawling. I've heard people talk about mainline Persona for ages. I never tried it. Now I tried it. Now I'm laughing. I love it so much. I love everything about this so far. It's been almost a little bit too much. It's been too effective because there's all that stuff, there's all that fun stuff, atmosphere, I like the characters. It's good vibes all around. But the gameplay is really good in its own way. It's amazing how, I have tried many RPGs since I played Persona Q, and I'm kicking myself. Like, it doesn't feel like a day has gone by. I feel like I'm a junior in high school playing Persona Q again, because Q has basically the same combat system with the weak points and then getting additional attacks, and then if you down everybody, you can do the bonus attack, and having your party members have their set moves, but then you have like a raisable persona that chooses your moves. It's a really good level of strategy. It's a really fun feeling of executing it. And I'm just like, why have I not played more RPGs where super effective hits feel as good as Pokemon and Persona? All you have to do is make a nice sound and a big splash thing and make me feel like I really beat the shit out of them, and I'll get addicted to the game. I mean, I was a 3rd grader when I got addicted to that in Pokemon, and it works so well. But oh my god, no, that feeling of navigating Persona fights and dungeon crawling, it feels just as good as it did in junior year of high school. And I dare say, I don't know if any turn-based RPG has been as fun for me specifically since then. Many have tried, many have failed. Yeah, it's been a long run. Kind of as a closing note, I do want to talk about this trip. Liz visited me for 2 weeks. A lot of stories are going to come out of that. And we did a lot of amazing fun stuff and a lot of shopping. And right now there's a lot of merch and goods for Persona 3 Reload. They really know how to market and merchandise these fuckers. I'm looking at a tiny sleeping Junpei chibi and a beautiful like water on glass looking keychain of Minato with like some concept art thing. It's just so blue and delicious. I got fucking Akihiko from a blind box, and the blind box was specifically like the first 6 characters in C's, and I'm like, Liz only wanted pretty much Mitsuru or Minato, and I was like, I will take anybody. Akihiko is the only one I have 0 connection with so far, because I haven't played that much of the game, but I'm like, you know what, I think I'm going to connect with him. And real shit, while I'm processing all the fun stuff we got up to, I keep looking at him, I keep seeing him on my desk and being like, you know what, you're one of the best people I met on this little anime doll meeting adventure. I bought so much stuff, I made so many connections, so much sentimental shit just right in front of me right now. But I love seeing Akihiko. I want to box. I want to get in shape. I want to have Miku Fitness boxing. I actually put my little Snow Miku gacha, which was a gacha result Liz did not want, next to Akihiko, who is also a gacha result Liz did not want. And the way that she's looking at him looks like a child in adoration, like she's learning about the concept of like boxing or being a scrappy little punk. And I'm like, is this how Miku Fitness boxing was formed? Anyhow, yeah, I really liked Yukari back in the day. I think she was very gender back then. She's always been kind of like, her design has always been a little bit of like a gender home base. Like for IRL for sure, the hair is very relatable. She reminds me of my Aunt Karen, actually. She specifically reminds me of my Aunt Karen by her design. And I am pretty, I don't know, like I still kind of get those similar vibes. So Liz got me a little Yukari plushie for my birthday, and she's up there. I got like fucking four. I got like half a C's right here. Yeah, Yukari. I know her writing's not that good in the game apparently, according to Hunter, but she uses wind spells and healing just like she did when I beat PQ, so I can't complain. I liked Junpei a lot more than I expected to. He was like fine in Persona Q, but I like how like just low key talking to him has been, like getting ramen and suddenly we're thou art I persona bonding. I don't know. I was pretty crazy about Mitsuru just like as a design and like the whole Yuri thing with like Yukamitsu and everything like that back in the day. I haven't really connected with her yet, but you know, it's good to have her around. Liz and I have been queer baiting with the Yukamitsu plushies everywhere we go. And Minato, I really wasn't that fond of him as a kid because I was him and I didn't want to be him. But now that the years have gone by, I look at this design and I'm like, he is very blue. I almost prefer his design to the female protagonist, though it is nice to have her as an option for my first game because, you know, if it's going to be life sim, it might as well be more relatable like that, though. I guess romance is a different bridge to cross when we get there, as I'd rather date the girls as her, but whatever. I was a Fire Emblem Awakening fan. I'm not picky, it's whatever. Yeah, that's just kind of the vibe. Hunter is a big Shinjiro fan, and I was digging through like bargain bin shit in like a secondhand store to find him Shinjiro stuff for his birthday, and I found this set somebody dropped off of, I swear, little acrylic stands of every character in the game except Shinji. I'm like 99% of gamblers stop before they get Shinji. I was digging for like half an hour to find Shinji and I didn't, but then he got Shinji in a gacha right in front of us, and he got the Shinji plushie, and we got little pictures and shit like that. So I've been associating him with Hunter, even though I actually liked him plenty fine back in PQ days. But yeah, that's been me getting emotionally in touch with Persona 3 in pretty much every fucking way. I love the vibes, love the music, love the themes and the imagery, love the gameplay, love the combat, love the life sim, love the Odaiba location and shit like that. It's just been tremendous. It's been kind of weird to be this into an RPG because I just don't really have an RPG space in my life right now, but yeah, this sure has happened. This has happened in a way that an RPG has not happened in, fuck, maybe since I was in high school? I don't know.